You have to cut all of that out and burn it. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Plain Truth, a Holy Spirited podcast. I'm Maggie Elmer, and I'm here with
David Watson,
Scott Kisker,
and we are on day 3 of the special called General Conference.
Completed day 3.
Completed day 3.
But yes. It only feels like day 9.
Of the United Methodist Church, and it was a very long day. I'm struggling to sort of find a word to describe the day. I guess in a very sort of technical way, we could call it productive. It served its... We got
through legislation.
Yes.
Things were passed and things were not passed.
That's right.
We made decisions.
All of the 70-some pieces of legislation that were supposed to go through committee were dealt with.
Yeah. One way or another.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to find a word that doesn't sort of connote one way or another way, and so, but yes, that's it. Stuff happened.
So I, first of all, just want to give a shout out to Joe Harris because he is a rock star. He has been...
Like David Lee Roth level rock star.
Yeah, I don't know that he would even appreciate that, but I'm talking about the fact that he is a calm, fair, judicious,
anchored presence,
efficient presence.
Yes,
leading the conference, leading the committee, and we could not have asked for anyone better.
Yes. That's true. He's done a great job.
That was a work of the Holy Spirit that he got elected.
And hiring the professional parliamentarian, we just want to give a shout out to you, Mr. Parliamentarian.
Yes.
Thank you.
I could not be more grateful for your ability to tell us when we are doing right and when we are doing wrong and stop us from talking about whether we're doing it right or wrong for 48 hours before we actually do anything.
So we don't know if you're a listener, Mr. Parliamentarian, but if you are, we're giving you a shout out right now.
I think
this link.
Yeah, and so people who are listening who might not understand the sort of the value of those things, efficiency in a process that is dealing with such intensely sensitive and combustible and
I mean, 70-some pieces of legislation.
Yeah. And it's all been efficient and without sort of unnecessary kind of just prolonged drawing out. It's been great. All right.
So we had worship this morning.
Yeah. Which
I thought was good.
Filled with the Holy Spirit.
I thought, the praise band, we sang songs that invoke the Holy Spirit. I remember the prayer. I forget who prayed the prayer, but it was, I think, somebody from the Philippines, maybe.
Okay.
We had folks from all over the world as part of the worship this morning, and
that's beautiful.
The Holy Trinity was invoked, and it was quite beautiful.
And then
we decided what to address first. We spent a little bit of time talking about whether or not we are going to go forward with discussion of the modified traditional plan.
Well, there was a motion to delay talking about the modified traditional plan until the end.
Okay.
And that was defeated.
Did not pass.
Yeah.
And so we did go ahead with what was planned. And
Right.
So right now, at this stage, to date, the General Conference has been functioning as a legislative committee of the whole. Okay? Normally, we have so many pieces of business to deal with at General Conference that the first part of the conference, the legislation is farmed out to a whole bunch of smaller committees made up of delegates. They spend several days working on these, and then they decide what pieces of legislation should go forward to the plenary where everyone is together. But in this case,
all committee work was done among the same people who will be in the plenary tomorrow.
Right. There's one big legislative committee of everyone. So what we have been deciding up to date is what goes forward to the plenary session tomorrow. What gets voted on as we could say something was approved by the General Conference once it has been voted on in the
Plenary.
Yeah, right.
So things today that were voted, were approved, then go on to be approved today in committee, will go on tomorrow to be voted on in plenary.
Correct.
Right.
And then, and only then, do they become disciplinary.
And so the things that we voted on to go forward into the plenary are
Okay, modified traditional plan will be considered tomorrow.
West Path.
West Path,
Which we voted on yesterday, last night.
Pensions,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Pensions.
And then 2 exit plans, or ways, what we call gracious exits, ways for churches who no
Cannot
longer
abide.
wish, for a variety of reasons, wish to be within the denomination anymore, to leave in a way that involves as little pain and hostility as possible.
And just legal upheaval.
Right, legal upheaval as
Yeah.
well.
So all of those things are going to happen tomorrow. And so let's talk a little bit just about what the atmosphere was like.
There's a lot of heaviness in the room.
A lot of sadness.
There was no. I did not witness any kind of celebrating, anything like that. I mean, I think everyone is just feeling the gravity of the situation right now, regardless of what your preferred plan is for moving forward. I think that everyone was in a very solemn place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shock and grief.
Yeah. And none of that is, all of that is just hard. We need a lot of prayer around the General Conference. I would also say, of course, moments like this where we feel like there's a lot at stake on whatever the outcome is, there's always a lot of sort of quarterbacking and sort of strategic pontificating about what's going to happen, what's the outcome going to be, what are the motives and things like that. The truth is we don't know. And I feel like it's important to clarify that because, hey, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook.
And don't believe everything you read.
There's a lot of rhetoric out there, and my fear is that a lot of this rhetoric is done either in an effort to spin something or well-intended, meant to encourage and give hope. But I've seen a lot of things that are just flatly untrue in terms of why certain things were voted through to plenary and why other things weren't. I mean, we talked to a lot of people. I have not heard any of the narratives that are being spoken.
Right. And I think there's in the church at large some denial.
Yeah. I mean, I think we just don't know what's
right.
Tomorrow is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out at the end.
Yeah.
And So just
hold on to your hats.
Yeah, protect yourselves and
everybody needs prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you guys get this in the morning and you can fast tomorrow, it's a good idea. And pray for all the delegates, and pray for the folks who are in the galleries, many of whom are, here, all of them here because they care, right?
Yeah.
So many of them are struggling.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's about it for today. Do we have anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah, tomorrow is sort of the last decisive day. We'll have a sort of a recap, wrap up for you guys, and we really appreciate you listening to the podcast always, especially these little short ones. And just keep praying for the conference, pray for the delegates, the bishops, pray for the observers, and hit us up on Twitter at Holy Spirit Pod. Give us a follow there. Check us out on Facebook. Please rate the podcast on iTunes. And hey, thanks a bunch, guys. We'll talk to you later tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.